Alright, we go folks, boom, marks on to 5 numbers after the name. A little Type Tuesday action if here, a little gameplay comes down to a little bit to the wall, to the wire. A little action going on over here on the Modern Warfare beta that we had over here, I don't know, I guess at this point, like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago and whatnot. So, where do we stand now with kind of this game and what this game is, at least, and what are kind of the big questions that are left out there? I guess the number one thing, the number one thing we still don't know about it, maybe at the time that this records, probably not actually, I think it's still the week after, is the Spec Ops mode. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with that, getting through those Spec Ops missions. That was pretty good. As long as they kind of keep a similar structure to what they did, you know, back in the Modern Warfare days, I'm going to have a good time with that. Because I really enjoyed getting those and playing those on, like, the different star mission or levels, even though I just kind of played them on 3 stars and that's it. But I think, I'm not gonna lie, it was like maybe a year or 2 ago when I went back to the captain and we did like some of those Juggernaut missions, like we still hadn't finished them because like they were so like difficult and stuff at the end, and then we found kind of little workarounds over there to beat them. You know, we still don't know everything, so the Spec Ops thing is kind of curious. I'm not gonna lie, the campaign trailer to me was probably one of the weaker campaign trailers I remember in Call of Duty like history. Normally, like when these trailers like come out, like they are just like hype machines, but this thing was kind of just, I don't know, to me it felt a little bit flat in what it's trying to deliver, but I still have high hopes. I still think the campaign would be dope, and I'm looking forward to playing a Call of Duty campaign. We didn't have the opportunity with that with Black Ops 4, so I was looking forward to get back in there, just get that single player experience and kind of just play through it at my own leisure and stuff like that. The multiplayer, ultimately, you know, when I went through like the good and the bad stuff, the good to me outweighs the bad. The time to kill is something that is going to be a negative for me, but it's also going to be a positive for me. So if you see the person first, it's going to be a positive, and if you don't, it's going to be a negative. And if you aim well, it's going to be a positive, and if you don't, it's going to be a negative. So, you know, the time to kill somebody you get used to, I just prefer a little bit longer, but whatever. The game modes that we had, right, in the beta and stuff like that. I really like the realism mode. I thought that was pretty fun. I think they're going to keep the mini-map. I don't anticipate them shipping without it. I think initially, like, the first alpha of the beta had no mini-map and people were, like, wilding. The mini-map's important. Like, I don't really know how else to, like, explain that. It's kind of, like, the Call of Duty experience. Now, are you trying to tell me that maybe people spend more time looking at the mini-map than the actual game? And that's an issue? Yeah. Are you also trying to tell me that maybe we could relearn how to play the game if we don't have the mini-map? Yeah. Would it even entice you more to play with more friends and kind of communicate better if you didn't have the mini-map because nobody knows where anybody is, and if you see somebody you can really tell them? Sure. Do any of those outweigh the fact that I just probably just want to play by myself a lot of times and I just want to know kind of general direction where people are and where the spawns are coming from, and that's what the mini-map does? Yeah, I think the mini-map wins in there. But that doesn't mean you can't have modes without it, and specifically like in that realism mode, I'd be perfectly cool with not having it on. Like, that's fine. The realism mode was cool. It's a side mode to me. I wouldn't be opposed though. I don't know if I would ever go and click on the realism playlist necessarily. But if it was mixed with, like, if I were playing TDM and there was a chance that I would get this realism like map coming up there as an option, I'd be really down with that. I think that'd be cool. I really enjoy it, and I hope they do keep it because it's something that I really hadn't thought of, and I'm sure there's other games that did, and I just haven't played them. The way that you could kind of filter out the playlist you want to be a part of, I thought that was like pretty neat, because there's often times where I'm like, yeah, I want to play TDM and Kill Confirmed, and in Black Ops 4 they give you that option when they kind of have those playlists together, and I like that. I was like, yeah, I'd love to play that. And maybe I'd probably put Kill Confirmed, TDM, and Dom, and then if there's a big Dom and a small Dom like there was in this, I'd put them both on there. And that would kind of be my rotation of, like, what I want to play. And I probably wouldn't touch another mode, but I'd at least diversify in that, and you get different experiences and stuff like that. Whereas now you kind of have to go into each playlist and whatnot. And it's fine, but it's cool to have that variety and kind of make your own little mosh pit just by filtering out there. So I hope that's something that stays. I hope that's something just wasn't for the beta. That to me is kind of a little underrated little step forward right there for the series. The not having the pick 10 system also is a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. I mean, I understand why, but like I think we could all agree that like the pick 10 system is a very good like way of like establishing yourself like it worked. Like, it was like the peak. It was like, all right, yeah, you can pick any 10 things. Cool. Like, thank you. obviously within reason, and obviously like if some stuff was like the same perk or whatever, you could only pick it up like whatever amount of time. Like you only have like 2 of those. Or you had a wild card. Like there's limitations to it. I'm not saying just let me do whatever I want, but like it works. So not going to it kind of hurt. Like I would love, for example, and it might be just too OP, and that's probably why like you don't do it. But I would love for me to have the kill chain thing and also hardline. Like, and fine, I'll punt like the 2 perks. Like I don't whatever, or I'll punt attachments to my gun. Like I honestly don't feel I need like 5 attachments on my gun. I would much rather be like, yo, I'll have only 2 attachments to my gun, but you let me take another perk. Like I feel like that kind of should be an option. But that's also just game design and how the philosophy that they had when going into it. So ultimately, I'm gonna respect that and play by and abide by their rules. But to me, it's always interesting when we see stuff that we thought was kind of like, I don't want to say staples of the franchise, but stuff that like we all kind of agreed on. Like like Ghost, for example. Like yeah, if you're like moving, all right, but like if you ain't moving, then like you should come up on the map if you don't move for a while. Like I thought that was kind of just what it is. I didn't know they were like we ever needed to like change that, for example. Same thing with like the pick 10. There was another one that just escaped my mind right now. The score streak, kill streak thing. It's fine. Like ultimately it's fine, but like who said that score streaks were good? You could adjust them, you could tweak them. I don't think that we necessarily need like cap a dom point, get you like 3 like equivalent like 3 kills. Or, like you don't need like wild stuff like that. But you should be rewarded by capping a dom point in dom, because that's the point of the game. Like you should get something towards your streak for that. You shouldn't get like 2 assists a kill like that. Maybe you could argue it's kind of I like it, but whatever. You can say that might be a little bit too much. That's fine. There's a bunch of stuff there that like you could tweak about it, but I don't go in the complete opposite direction. Just being like, all right, now we're only doing kill streaks. Is like, well, like who argued that those things were like bad things? Meanwhile, like we don't even know like the microtransaction thing. The one thing that like we all know is like a bad thing is always like under wraps and ain't gonna come out till a couple weeks later when they're like, oh, you bought the game already? Well, bam! Like here's this like new way of like getting content, or like that you are gonna be missing out on stuff. So it's those kind of changes that make me a little bit nervous about an overall positive experience.